Good morning. My name is Jacob Rasminaprat, and I will be your chairperson for today's Eitai-kyo service. Are there any visitors or new students and families here this morning? If so, welcome to our temple. Could those of you sitting near them help to find the proper pages for the sutras, gathas, and readings? Thank you. First, we'll have Sanbujo on page 24 in the Big Book, followed by Sutra chanting Juseige on page 23 in the Little Book, or page 93 in the Big Book. The page numbers for the Sutra book will be displayed on your front screen and at your monitors at home, so please follow along. Please rise to sing the Gatha, I'm a Link in the Golden Chain, which is the third song in the yellow handout, followed by the Golden Chain, which is located on page 2 in the little book, or page 15 in the big book under the Golden Chain 1.
I'm a link in the golden chain. Harmony may we all attain. Gentle to all living things, will know you as all as golden rings. I'm a link in the golden chain. Gratitude may we all attain. Bright and strong my link will grow. Pure and loving deeds I know. Pure and beautiful thoughts I will think, and pure and beautiful words I will say, and pure and beautiful deeds I will do for the world and for you. Spreading kindness and love every day to all living things that come our way. Amida's chain of love is bright. Through peace and love we will see the light.
The Golden Chain. I'm a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Rinban Sakamoto.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Eitaikyo service. It's good to see all of you here in the Hondo and at home as well. Today is a time that we are mindful of what we receive, so the Dharma that we receive, and how we pass that on to others. So Eitaikyo is the perpetual reading of sutras. And so that the name kind of reminds us, we need to be able to do this and pass it on to the next generation. We're able to hear the Dharma because someone else earlier did the same thing that we're trying to do, trying to hold on to the teachings of the Buddha and to pass it on. When Shakyamuni Buddha passed away, his remains were cremated, and the remains were then placed or distributed to the kingdoms around his home. And where these remains were kept, a building was built, and that stupa is the kind of iconic image of Central Asia, India Buddhist building. And these stupas were built as the remains were divided over and over again. These stupas were built many places around the world. There's a stupa on the top of the San Francisco Buddhist temple. Our Dharma school used to go once a year to visit that stupa. And that stupa was built there because we received relics of Shakyamuni Buddha, Shariputra, and Moggallana from the king of Siam. And when when the BCA received these relics of the Buddha, they rebuilt the San Francisco Buddhist temple, and on top of the San Francisco Buddhist temple, they built this stupa. So right over the Onaijing, right above the Onaijing of the San Francisco Buddhist temple, is this stupa that contains the relics of Shakyamuni Buddha and two of his disciples. Over the years, these relics of Shakyamuni Buddha were divided many times over, but not every temple, not every place of Buddhist studies were able to receive relics of the Buddha. So what they did was, instead of building these buildings where the Shakyamuni Buddha's remains were kept, they put in these buildings the sutras of Shakyamuni Buddha. When Shakyamuni Buddha was about to die, he said, my body is about to fall apart like a decaying cart. Everything changes. Everything will pass. So rather than think of having lost the teachings of the Buddha because I've died, look to the Dharma, look to the teachings that I've shared with you, and share that with others. So it doesn't matter if it's a person, but that the teachings are remembered and read and studied together. And that's what we're doing today. We're making sure that the teachings of the Buddha continue. Not a person, not someone, but rather that the teachings of the Buddha, what he shared with others, continues to be passed on to the next generation. But one of the things that we need to remember also as we pass this on to others, it's kind of like if you have something that is that you enjoy eating, right? Something that when you eat, you enjoy, and it makes you feel good, and it nourishes you. The Dharma is kind of like that. When we hear the teachings of the Buddha, it helps us to better understand ourselves, better appreciate the world in which we live. And if you have something that is nourishing and you pass it on to the next person, if that person receives that which you've enjoyed and looks at that and says, oh yeah, this is something important because others have enjoyed this, and holds on to that and eventually passes on to the next person. And the next person takes that and says, oh, this is important because it came to us. And so others have felt that this was important, and passes it to the next person. If that was something that we enjoyed eating, what would happen in the end to this which was being passed down to the next person? Well, I mean, it's easier to think of it if it's ice cream, right? If I enjoy this ice cream, I pass it to the next person. That person takes that ice cream, so, oh, this is important, I'll pass it to the next person. You keep passing it down, eventually what happens to the ice cream? Melted, right? And you get a nice puddle of ice cream. What has to happen is when you receive the Dharma, you also have to enjoy the Dharma. I mean, not just pass it on, but enjoy the Dharma. So that means that we need to think about, to hear the teachings of the Buddha, and to try to understand it in our own lives, not just passing it down to the next group. We're able, again, to enjoy what we have today. This hondo, this wonderful hondo that we're in today, was because somebody in the 1930s decided this is something that we need to do. And so they gathered together, they pulled their resources and put up this wonderful hondo that we're able to enjoy, and we're able to gather in every Sunday and participate in services like today. We have to remember that what is passed down to us, that we need to kind of think about, we need to enjoy, we need to be able to practice what we've received. Not just to pass it down, but to be able to receive. As we participate in today's Eitaikyo service, Eitaikyo is also, it seems odd, but it's also fundraising. But the reason it's fundraising is because the place where the teachings are practiced needs to also be taken care of, so that others can be able to enjoy the place where we come to hear the teachings of the Buddha. Like those individuals in the 1930s who built this hondo, we're able to enjoy it because of what they thought, what they valued, and what they wanted to pass on. So it's not just receiving, but we have to receive. We also have to think about and make as a part of our lives what the teachings of the Buddha are. So it's good to share. It's important to share. But it's also important that we understand and appreciate what it is that we've received and make it a part of our lives so that when we share this, it's something that is important, something that we value, that we'll pass on to the next generation. This Eitaikyo service reminds us of the importance of continuing to make available the teachings of the Buddha so that all people will be able to enjoy the Dharma as we have here at the Betsuin. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rinban Sakamoto. Please rise to sing the Gatha Sayonara on page 103 in the Little Service book, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the Little book or page 15 in the Big book. The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We endeavor to walk in his noble path every day in our lives. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Mr. Akizuki, Mr. Rowling, Organist Mrs. Jones, and AB Coordinator Mr. Uenaka. Are there any announcements?
While people are coming up, I wanted to point out that on our website, the Betsuin's website, there is a link, a fundraising link for the Second Harvest Food Bank. As you may know, there's great food insecurity. Even in a place as fortunate as we are, there are many who still rely on food banks for their daily nutritional needs. So there is a link that Kathy kind of organized with Betsuin to have this link then provide resources to the Second Harvest Food Bank. And there was concerns about whether or not it's tax deductible. So you'll be able to do that if you go to this link on our website and make a contributions to help not alleviate, but certainly help to ease some of the food insecurity that's being experienced in our country today. Thank you.
Good morning. Just a reminder, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that, on December the 6th, from 10 to 4, will be the Nikkei Matsuri Artisan Fair. And hopefully you've been to them in the past, but they're similar to the ones that they have Nikkei Matsuri in the springtime, but this is held indoors in the gym. And BWA is very honored to have a booth at this artisan fair, so we hope that you'll come by, see all the other vendors that are there, and say hello. Thank you.
Hi, Tori from DSPO. On December 7th, so the day after the Nikkei Matsuri Fair, we'll be helping with a luncheon for the entire Sangha. So all the groups will be contributing potluck dishes. We will send out a sign-up sheet, so if you can help contribute and bring a dish, that would be great. There's also paper sign-ups at the back of the church. So I believe there will be a 10 a.m. service. Following that, there'll be a groundbreaking for the Dharma Center across the street, and then we'll head back inside for luncheon.
Yeah, that'll be our Bodhi Day service in the annex. And then, yeah, it's exciting because we're actually going to have a kind of a ceremonial groundbreaking, but it'll be a groundbreaking for the new Dharma Center. So please be sure to come and join us for that. Any other announcements? Anything else?
Before everybody leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Thank you, everyone. Please come forward for Oshoko. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay. Good job. Good morning, good morning. Arigatos. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. 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 Morning. Good morning. 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 Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay.
When the bells are going, when do I get up to go to the front? I
Once-
always like wait till it's over. Okay. Just want to make sure.
So, have you thought about?
You know, the thing is, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And weekends, I try to rest. Like, that's what time I have to, like, get to work. So I'm like,
One more. Get up early day. Understand?
that's why I was like, oh, 8 o'clock. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well,
I think one of these days I'll be ready, but right now I think it's just a lot of work.
yeah.
A lot of work at work, so
So, yeah. Let's talk about it. Doesn't have to be the same. But things like setting up an hygiene, what it does. Yeah, it's a big help.
maybe I'll like I'll make a commitment like once a month or something or twice a month instead of every week. Like I said, that's like a more day. chill. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem. Oh.
Thomas says he'll sit down.
Ah,
I couldn't get him to sit up.
try to adjust this up. Good morning. I'm Amy Lin Furukawa, and welcome to San Jose Buddhist Church, Betsuin. I will be your chairperson for today's service. So before we begin this morning's service, just a reminder that there are no food or drinks in the hondo, and please turn off your cell phones or put it on silent. Thank you. So welcome to the Eitaikyo service. We will begin this morning's service with Sanbujo on page 24 in the large service book, and followed by the Sutra chanting Sanbutsuge on page 22 in the small Dharma school service book and page 79 in the large service book. The page numbers for the Sutra book will be displayed on the front screen and on your monitors at home, so please follow along. Thank you.
service, the members of the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuin have reverently come before Amida Buddha with gratitude for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. Namandaos, namandaos.
please rise to sing the Gatha, Namo Amida Butsu, which you'll find in page 67 of the small service book. And please remain standing thereafter for the three treasures on page 3 of the small Dharma book.
Fair and sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and flowers adorn our way. Oft let us pause with grateful heart to say, trustingly we cry, Namo Amida Butsu. If you please join now in the reading of the three treasures on page 3 in the Dharma School Service Book. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of thy doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
And now Mr. Dennis Akizuki will give this morning's Dharma talk.
Please join me in Kansho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us this morning for this Taikyo service, and thank you also for those of you who are watching at home. So this is the annual Taikyo service. This started in Japan, I think, back in the Tokugawa, when the Tokugawa shoguns ruled Japan, so sometime between 1600 and 1868, hundreds of years ago. So first slide, you might ask, what is this service about? You might ask. I might ask, and I did ask. I admit I didn't know too much about Taikyo service, so I did ask for help. And some of you who attend service regularly know that there's a source I asked for help. This is my friend AI, artificial intelligence. And so I asked I for some help to learn and to understand about what Eitaikyo means and how does it relate to us as Shin Buddhists. So let's start with the word Eitaikyo. Next slide. I says E means eternal or perpetual. Next slide. Tai means generations or age. Next slide. Kyo means sutras or scriptures. So the next slide. The full name actually is Eitai Dokyo, but it's kind of contracted into Eitaikyo. So what it means is the perpetual chanting of sutras. So this kind of puzzled me because perpetual chanting, it means like endless chanting of sutras, right? And we don't do endless chanting of sutras. We did chant the sutras, but it ended, and it was not that long, right? So what is this? There has to be another meaning. So there is. Today we chanted Sanbutsuge, which means praises of the Buddha. So we did chant, but we didn't chant perpetually. So what's going on here? What's this about? The perpetual chanting of sutras is kind of like the literal definition of Eitaikyo. So there's a more figurative or non-literal definition, right? So this is a deeper meaning, and it's other than chanting continuously. And here's what I had to say to help explain this non-literal definition of Eitaikyo. Next slide. So Eitaikyo is held annually to honor deceased members and supporters of the temple and to raise funds for its ongoing mission of spreading the teachings. In this service, names of the deceased are added to a registry after a donation is made, and they are remembered perpetually at the temple during this special service. So the overview goes on to describe Eitaikyo in this way. The purpose is, again, to honor and remember deceased members and supporters of the temple, including those who have no longer have living relatives to observe a memorial. To express gratitude for the contributions of those who have come before and to ensure the temple's mission continues for future generations, and to provide spiritual strength and to deepen the understanding of life. So again, this is gratitude, right? We hear about gratitude a lot, but in this case, it's gratitude for a particular set of people, right? The people who have come before us, the people who have who raised money to build the Hondo, the people who started programs, the people who built all of its facilities here, right? So we gratefully remember those who came before, and we keep learning about how do we live our lives and make sure that the temple, where we learned how to live our lives, flourishes for the next generation. I think Eitaikyo then reminds us of the deep connection between the generations, right? The past, the present, and the future. We're all united here in learning about the Buddha Dharma, the teachings of Buddha and Shinran. AI helps in understanding some of these things. But, one of the most insightful explanations of Eitaikyo I came across is not from but from the Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple website. And Venice is one of the approximately 60 temples that are part of the Buddhist Churches of America. And here is what the Venice Temple says about Eitaikyo. Quote, one way to understand the Eitaikyo is as the temple's promise to continue to share and propagate the Dharma, in particular the Nembutsu teachings. So remember the definition of Tai in Eitaikyo is generations or ages. Venice actually translated Eitaikyo as more like long generations of sutra chanting, pointing out that the kanji for long generations is often translated as perpetual. So it goes on to quote, because of this, Eitaikyo can be seen as the temple's promise to propagate in perpetuity. However, the temple is also a place that helps us to understand that what makes it possible and meaningful for the temple to propagate is all the people of the temple's past and their concern for the future that help to make the present and future possible. The Dharma, the Nembutsu, is a teaching that gave gave the people of our past the strength to live our lives. It is also what gave them hope for the future that we are all now a part of. As a way of assuring that the temple is able to propagate in perpetuity and to continue the process of receiving and sharing, the temple reminds us to appreciate the gifts from our past by remembering and honoring all of those who made the Nembutsu a part of their lives, and to honor their wish to share this Dharma with the future. So I like this explanation of sutras over long generations, right? So this to me makes kind of more sense than chanting in perpetually, like chanting on and on and on. It is chanting on and on and on, but not continuously, but chanting over the long generations. So generation after generation, chant, generation after generation, share the Dharma. Come here to the temple to understand the Dharma. So, so how can we observe Eitaikyo? So there is the donation portion of this, as I explained, right? And this is, but this is a donation with a very specific purpose, right? It's to raise funds for its ongoing mission of spreading the teachings. And so a lot of temples have Eitaikyo funds, right? And we have an Eitaikyo fund. So this money is set aside for the hondo itself and to repair the hondo and religious ornaments and do other things that need to be done to keep the hondo a place where we can gather. So some of you may remember that maybe about 1.5 years ago, we repaired the roof of the hondo. As you can imagine, that's a major undertaking, right? The hondo is a very high roof. You need special equipment to do that. You need people who kind of really know what they're doing, because it's potentially a hazard if you don't know what they're doing. So we hired a company. They brought in a big crane, I think, at some point, and they repaired the roof of the hondo. And we used actually money from the Eitaikyo fund to fund that. So if there are people who every year donate to the Eitaikyo fund, and that money is set aside and is restricted for the use of just things here in the hondo that need work. So the last slide. But you can also participate in Eitaikyo by attending the service, as you've done today, chant sutras, honor those whose devotion is responsible for keeping the hondo here, keeping it alive, doing all the things that have been done over the years to make sure that we can come here, listen to the Dharma, and listen together and hear the Dharma. So, Eitaikyo. So that's kind of my understanding of Eitaikyo. Hopefully it's the correct understanding of Eitaikyo, and hopefully I has been correct in leading me on this explanation of Eitaikyo. So we're here just to kind of remember everybody else, to kind of contribute to keep that going. Not just here, not just physical, the hondo, but the teachings of Buddha and Shinran, to make sure that we continue that to future generations. And that's, I think, the connection. Past generations, that's what they did. Their work laid the foundation. We're doing similarly, and I think the building across the street is our kind of effort to kind of keep that going. And then that's for the future generations, and hopefully the future generations will do the same kind of work to keep the teachings alive and continuing in generations to come. So please join me in Gassho and reciting in Butsu. Namo Amida 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 Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. And how appropriate you used I. I also means love in Japanese, right? And it's a love for the Sangha and for those who came before us, present and after, that we put toward this fund so we can keep the building up and so that we can all enjoy each other's company in the presence of the Buddha. So how appropriate. Thank you. So please rise and sing the Gatha Ondokusan II on page 76 of the Small Dharma School Service Book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
Are there any announcements?
While people are coming up for announcements, I want to draw your attention to a link on our website, our Betsuin website, that is a fundraising link for Second Harvest Food Bank. As you know, there's a great deal of food insecurity, even here in San Jose, and that contribution to the Second Harvest Food Bank will help a great many people. So take a look at that. There's information on that site as well about how your funds will be used and who is able to, and really how many people are able to benefit from your support. Kathy wanted to start this a couple weeks ago, and we're able to get it up on our website. And the donations through that link is also tax deductible, so please read through other information that's there.
Good morning. I'm Moshal Karokura. I'm with BWA and Nikkei Matsuri, and like to invite you all December 6th from 10 to 4. Right here in the gym, we'll be having Nikkei Matsuri's Artisan Fair. So BWA has their booth full of handmade crafts, as does several other nonprofits in Japantown. And we have close to 40 artisans that will all be in the gym. There'll be food by the Japanese American Museum. We'll be hosting that, and lots of food offerings and gifts. Great time to get your holiday shopping done. So December 6th, Saturday, 10 to 4. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Larry Honda, and in 2 weeks we have our annual Bodhi Day service. Bodhi Day, where we celebrate the enlightenment of Siddhartha becoming Shakyamuni Buddha. So as always, we have a 10 o'clock service in the gymnasium. That'll start, and that'll run an hour? 2 hours? No. An hour. And then afterwards, we're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony to officially start the construction of the new Dharma Center that's going to take place, replace the education building across the street. Timing of that is dependent on when the service ends. But when the service ends, we'll do a short groundbreaking ceremony across the street, and then we'll come back over here and have our annual luncheon. So normally the luncheon was a potluck mainly supplied by the Dharma School parents, but now we spread that where the whole Sangha contributes. So there's going to be a link, if you haven't received it already, there's going to be a link through signup.com to contribute either a main dish or a side dish, salad, or appetizer. If you prefer not to do it that way, we have physical sign-up sheets in the back of the Hondo. That'll be there today and also next Sunday. Again, this is occurring in 2 weeks. And then it's a very busy day. Then at 3 o'clock on that same day, we have our annual meeting. So all charitable organizations have an annual meeting once a year, and that's ours that day. And ours will be a hybrid thing, so we'll be here in the Hondo for those of you who want to attend in person, and it'll also be available to watch online. And of course, this Thursday is Thanksgiving, and as Reverend Jones mentioned, I believe it was last week, you know, it's a day to express gratitude, and obviously in Buddhism, gratitude is a big deal. So hopefully, as you chow down on whatever you have on your Thanksgiving day, hopefully you also consider giving gratitude to everybody who helps make your life better. Great, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Gilbert. I'm one of the greeters by the door most of the morning. As a greeter, we have the pleasure of meeting our new friends. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce Laura. Over there, I also like to thank Harriet for hosting Laura. And I didn't get to meet another new friend personally over there. Can you introduce your friend? Oh, stand up, let us know you. Well, thank you. Welcome. And so we are always see our new friend returning. Last week didn't get properly introduced. It's a quartet. Well, always our pleasure to see somebody come, new friend come in 2 weeks consecutively. Hope to see you more, like our relative new friends, Benjamin, has a very good attendance record. Sherry, yes, and that along many our, we have too many new friends, I cannot introduce them all. And hope, please, during our after-service reception, to interface with our new friends. They probably will have a lot of questions to ask. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hubert.
Well, welcome to all the new friends. We hope to see you more often. So thank you everyone for attending this morning's service. Thank you Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Mr. Dennis Akizuki, Mr. Matthew Rowling, Organist Elaine Jones, and AV Coordinator Brandon Uenaka, who grew up at the church. See, love for the Sangha. Thank you for attending again, and we will now have closing gassho. And please come forward for incense offerings, and also join us for refreshments in the multi-purpose room thereafter.
Please join in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Hi, Amy.
Because I can either go low or I can go high. So it's nice to be able, yeah, I gotta learn the middle after time.